much. Joining me now, Democratic Congressman Khanna of California, who serves on the House Oversight Committee. Welcome back to Fox News Sunday. Congressman, you've had some tough talk for your party post-election about how they floundered, where they failed to connect with the American people, how they can move forward. Based on the events of this week, do you feel like they're listening to what you're telling them?
Well, Shannon, you showed all our hits for the week. Look, that was not a good look. We should have stood for the boy with cancer. You stand for the President of the United States out of respect for the American people. I agree with Senator Fetterman that it's really about showing our heart. I mean, you stand for the widow of the firefighter. And here's what happens. The story should have been on President Trump. He's talking about a balanced budget. The House Republican budget actually is adding $2.8 trillion to the deficit. We should have been talking about the Medicaid cuts. Instead, we're talking about our own behavior, and that's a distraction from us getting out our economic message.
And we can debate the budget, but to be clear, President Trump continues to say no cuts to Medicaid. Now, it's up to the parties, to the lawmakers on the Hill, your colleagues, to figure that out. But I want to get back to this. A writer over at Unheard says that your party is missing an opportunity. Here's his headline: Democrats are wasting a populist moment. They learned nothing from the election. Thanks to their uncritical defense of all things branded woke, Democrats are now viewed by working-class voters of all races as litigious, censorious, and elitist. Is there an internal perception with the party, a self-perception that that is how many people now view them?
I think we have to make sure that we are patriots. We convey that we love this country. It's the greatest country. Where we understand that the working class and middle class got shafted in America because of corporate offshoring, because industries left, and that we're the party that's going to make us a manufacturing superpower again. We're the party that's going to stand up for Medicaid and health insurance. We're the party that's going to be for raising wages. And we've got to lead with the economic message. And that's something that the party is realizing. There are people like Chris Deluzio, like Haley Stevens, like Pat Ryan, who are pushing the party in that direction. In fact, we have a group called the Economic Patriots in the House, a group of across the ideological spectrum to redefine the party in exactly that way.
I got to say, when I was watching Tuesday night, I did see you stand up and applaud at times. You were kind of the only person on that side of the room in many cases. Was there a discussion amongst Democrats before or after about how you were going to react and how that reaction was ultimately received?
Shannon, there was a lot of discussion. A few of us said that we should be respectful because it's about the institutions of American democracy. I mean, I want the Republicans to stand when we have a Democratic president, and we will. The parties go back and forth in this country. And what I don't want, I mean, can you imagine if we continue down this line that when we have a Democratic president, what if the Republicans say they're just not going to attend? And then when we have a Republican president, if the Democrats don't attend, the country needs to focus on our common goals and the challenges with China. And I just hope that we learn from this. The next time we do have an escort committee, we stand up respectfully when the president comes in. You can vigorously disagree, as I do, but still respect some of the institutions of our country and some of our traditions.
Do you think that Congressman Al Green respectfully disagreed or disrespectfully disagreed? Did you think his actions were appropriate, and why didn't you vote to censure him?
Well, I agreed with Congressman Raskin that he shouldn't have disrupted to the extent he did. He was asked to leave. That was appropriate. And I thought that was the appropriate consequence, that he had to leave on national television from the chamber. I didn't vote to censure him because he didn't engage in violence or something that was, he left. He was asked to leave, he left. That was the consequence, and he did that. And I am ultimately a supporter of free speech. So he was asked to leave because it was disorderly, but, he had a speech right, and I don't think that should be censured in terms of the free speech of the country.
Okay, I want to talk about an issue that your party has had some internal and some public conversations about. This week, your governor there in California, Gavin Newsom, he's got a new podcast, in case you haven't heard. He said he thinks it's, quote, deeply unfair to allow transgender athletes to play in female college and youth sports. Rachel Bate over Politico writes this, quote, why the hell has it taken this long for a high-profile Democrat to say what most people in the country are thinking? She goes on to note, a January New York Times Ipsos poll found 79% of the public believe trans athletes should not play in women's sports, including a whopping 67% of Democrats. Now, a post that you made on X sounds like you might disagree with where Governor Newsom is on this. You've urged your party to get more in line with America, where they are on the issues. So what about this one?
Well, Shannon, you know I'm always a straight shooter, so I'll tell you where I stand. I know many of your viewers will disagree with it, but I was perplexed by the governor because Governor Newsom supported, along with Jerry Brown, a law in California in 2013 that's been on the books for 10 years. And that law says that trans kids do get to participate in sports, K through 12. And we have a California Intercollegiate Federation that sets the standards to balance the inclusion of trans kids with fairness and safety. And so I guess I didn't understand what the governor was saying. And for a decade, he's supported this law. It's still the law on the books. Is he saying we need to repeal that law? I believe that that law has worked in California, and I don't think there should be a federal ban, and we should have these state athletic associations like the California Intercollegiate Federation set the standards so that you balance inclusion with fairness and safety.
Well, that is a political evolution a lot of folks are having these days, so we'll follow the conversation within your party and more broadly as well. Congressman Khanna, thank you always for your time.
Thank you, Shannon.